We get this question all the time. Ray, should I take money out of my investment accounts to pay off my mortgage? And this is one of those topics that may be more emotional than quantitative. You see, the answer really depends on what your mortgage interest rate is and what you can reasonably expect to earn on your investments. But a lot of us have been conditioned from an early age that debt is bad and that we should do everything we can to get out of debt, and that includes our mortgage. But that may not always be the case. And just as in any financial decision that's important, you should do your homework and analyze exactly the kind of impact that these choices can make. So let's take a couple who has 10 years left on a 30-year mortgage, and they owe about $100,000 on their home. Their loan has an interest rate of 4%, and they have a principal and interest payment of around $938 a month. But they also have $100,000 in an investment account that they are considering liquidating to pay off the mortgage. After all, who wants to pay over $140,000 in interest charges over the life of the loan? So their logic is that they could pay off the home and simply invest the $937 each month that they were making on a mortgage payment. And by doing this, they would not only avoid having to pay all those interest charges, but they would be better off financially. And this strategy sounds great, but is it financially and mathematically sound? So let's assume for a minute that they earn a rate of return that is exactly the same as their mortgage interest rate, 4%. If they take the $937.66 and invest it monthly for 10 years, they will have accumulated $138,051, which sounds great. But had they left that $100,000 in the investment account, earning the same 4%, it would have grown to $148,024. That's a difference of a little over 7%. How is this possible? It's because interest on a loan is simple interest on a decreasing balance. Think about it. Every time you make a mortgage payment, you're knocking some of the principal down. So when they apply the interest rate to that smaller principal amount the next year, the amount of interest that you owe goes down. This is why you pay so much interest in the early years of a mortgage and significantly less in the latter years. But contrast that with an investment account where the interest is actually compounding on an increasing balance. So every year your earnings rate of return is applied to a higher amount. This compounding effect, which Einstein called the eighth wonder of the world, magnifies the impact of your account value. And should our hypothetical couple earn a higher rate of return on their investments than the 4% we illustrated, the magnitude of this difference can be significant. For instance, say they earned 6% on their investments. This works out to a 16.9% increase for our couple by leaving the $100,000 just where it is and not paying off the mortgage early. And if they grow their money at 8%, keeping the mortgage works out to nearly $50,000 more money in savings, which equates to a 27% difference. Now, we can never predict what the capital markets will or won't do, and past performance is never an indicator of future results, but I hope you're starting to get an idea that there could be a tangible cost to paying off a mortgage early, especially if you have a very low interest rate and you're considering taking money out of an investment account that historically will earn at least as much as your mortgage is costing you. But it probably won't work if we get interest rates like we had in the late 1970s and early 1980s. When I got my first home in 1980, we had a 17% mortgage rate. I can tell you that the strategy that I'm describing to you today won't really work well if we have mortgage rates that high. But with today's historically low rates, I believe most people would absolutely be better off continuing to pay their mortgage and leaving their investments alone, allowing them to compound and to grow. And this concept applies to anyone considering making extra payments to a mortgage as well. Let's take our couple who still have 10 years left on their mortgage. By paying an extra $525 each month, mathematically, we know that they will shorten their mortgage by 4 years. This is what a lot of people do, make an extra payment to the mortgage company. What if, however, they took that $525 each month and invested it, instead of sending it to the mortgage company where it can no longer earn a rate of return for you? They would, in my opinion, still be better off making their mortgage payment and not doing the extra payment that they're considering sending in each month. Let's see why. With 4 years to go on their original mortgage, they would owe $41,529. Even investing this money at the same 4% rate, by taking that $525 each month for 6 years, which would be the length of time that the mortgage would be outstanding had they made extra payments, they would still have accumulated more money. At an earnings rate of either 6 or 8%, the financial situation and benefit to them would be enhanced accordingly. But as I said at the beginning of the video, a lot of people make these types of decisions more emotionally than pragmatically. And I understand how the emotional appeal of being debt-free is. And sometimes emotions can truly outweigh mathematical logic, but it can't hurt to at least consider the math when you're contemplating a decision of this magnitude. So there you have it. I appreciate your time and attention to this concept, and if you do have any questions about whether or not this strategy may have merit for you, please let us know.